making contact on my foot.
Sorry. Hi beauties, welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be reviewing all of the Zodiac collections from BH Cosmetics, Color Popping Kathleen Lights, as well of course the Wet n Wild collection. So stay tuned if you want to see all about these products. Now we're getting into the fun stuff. So I have right here the Zodiac palette from BH Cosmetics, and you guys, I have been dying to try out this palette because look at this. Hold on. Look how beautiful she is. Now, I don't completely agree with the colors they chose for the signs. Like, for example, I don't understand why Aries is teal. That doesn't make any sense because when you think of an Aries, you think of fire. And I don't know why Capricorn's like brown. Like, I know Capricorn's an earth sign, but when I think Capricorn, I don't know, I think more cranberry. And I feel like Scorpio and Libra definitely should have switched. But overall, I have swatched and played with this palette a little bit in store, and I was really impressed, so that's why I got it. And then I also have the Zodiac palette from Kathleen Lights and ColourPop right here. And I love their packaging, like in the sunshine, how it just twinkles. And then also inside the box, if you look closely right in here, there's little moons and stars, which I thought was so cute. And here's this little guy. Now, I have played a little bit with this palette. I've only done a few looks, and so far, I think it's a decent palette. I think it's definitely worth, I think it was like $20-something. I think it's definitely worth it. This blue shade Aquarius right here, I have like mixed thoughts on it. I think it's really nice underneath the lash line, but I haven't really played with it much. I tried to put it all over the lid, and it just kind of got powdery and dusted away and wasn't that great. But for starters, I'm going to go ahead and dip into shade the Libra as our transition shade in my crease. And I'm just going to load up this brush and then just place that right in the crease. I think shade Libra, I mean, they all kind of, not all of them, but most of them have like a little bit of kickback, but it's not like anything crazy like, you know, subculture or anything like that. It's just like a decent amount, like a little normal amount. And I don't actually mind the kickback. I mean, it's not too bad. But if you just, as you can see when I dip my brush in, I mean, there's a little bit, but nothing you can't just blow off and keep going. Alright, so I'm just going to build this shade up in my crease and just using a back and forth window wiper motion and little circles. Just build that color up. And this is one of my favorite transition shades when I want like a nice mauve-y transition. I think it's really pretty. Alright, so I'm going to dip right back into the BH Cosmetics palette. And I love the packaging on this palette. It's so pretty. It's so pretty. And the highlight shade, to die for. And I love how it's like all of the like planets kind of in a way, and then it's like the sun. I love it. I love it. Alright, so I have a lot of options here, but I think I'm going to first dip into this shade right here. It's like another mauve pink color. And just see how that works. Okay, this has some kickback to it. If you see, I'm barely pushing my brush in there, and it's already getting dusty. But like I said earlier, kickback doesn't really bother me. Whoa, this is huge. This is like hard to hold. Let me just grab my other Zodiac palette because the mirror in this one's a lot nicer. Wow. Okay, that's building up nicely. Oh yeah, she's a little dusty. Just a little bit. A lot more than the other shade Libra in here was. And I kind of wish on this palette, I don't know if they're labeled on, no they're not. I kind of wish that like the matte shades have names too. I think it's kind of like, you know, Virgo and the matte shades included in that. But I don't know. I kind of wish the matte shades had like their own names. Like I feel like they could have named the matte shades after planets. or something, or even like House 1. I feel like that would have been cool. Alright, I feel like so far this transition is building up nicely. And so I'm just going to dip into, let's see, on a little bit. So I'm going to take just a smaller fluffy brush and dip into the matte shade right here that's in front of Leo. And that looks like a beautiful cranberry shade. So yeah, we're just going to dip into that. And just packing that on the outer V. This shade kind of reminds me of, I think it's Libra in here? No, Sagittarius. It kind of reminds me of the Sagittarius shade in Kathleen's palette, which is this one right here. And I did use that one the other day, and it's more cranberry toned than this one. I feel like this one has more of a purple tone than like a reddish tone, if that makes sense. So far though, it seems to be blending nicely. It's not getting patchy or anything like that. And the shade has a little less kickback than the last shade that we used. So I like to just go ahead and stamp the color on first with this brush, and then I'll go back in with my original fluffy brush and blend out those edges. And again, whenever I blend out my edges, I just use little soft circular motions. Alright, so this shade is blending out nicely, but I feel like I have to work with it a little bit more than I did with the Kathleen's palette. Let's see, we'll just keep blending. But the shadow isn't getting weird or anything. I feel like it got a little stuck right here though. So I'm just gonna go ahead and keep blending back and forth. Alright, and then I'm gonna dip back in shade to the matte shade in front of Virgo right here. And just help blend out this side a little bit more. And I'm very light-handed when I do this. I just graze the top of the shadow. Now it did get a little bit messy right here, so I'm just going to take my sponge that had the concealer on it and just kind of press it along the edge. Just to erase some of that mess. So it did blend out just a little bit too far. Alright, dipping back in and just blending. Alright, so far I think that these are really pretty shades and I'm liking this look so far. So next, I think I'm going to dip into the matte shade in front of Taurus right here. And again, just taking another clean brush. And yeah, I'm going to dip into the matte shade right here in front of Taurus and deepening up that outer edge. And I'm not going to take this up as high as I took the last shade. I'm going to keep it closer to the lash line. Wow, okay, that shade is so pretty and I barely put any on. And I'm barely tapping into the palette when I tap into here. There is a little bit of kickback, but nothing too crazy. Oh, that blended out like a dream. I barely had to work with that shadow, just very gently blended out. And if I am looking down a lot, it's because I have all my mirrors right here. And I want to make sure I'm, getting that on there. Wow, that is so pretty. Okay. And now I'm just going to do the same thing on this eye. And I am using more of the BH Cosmetics palette because I got this one more recent than I got the Zodiac palette from Kathleen. And I really do think that that's a good palette as well. But I just kind of wanted to get more of a feel for the BH Cosmetics one. I think it is blending out nicely. And I'm really liking this look so far. And I think the shadows are decently pigmented as well. I can't decide between shade Leo or Virgo to put on my lids, so I'm just going to do a quick little swatch of them. And these are so pretty. Look at that. They're both so pretty. But I think for this look, I'm going to go more Virgo. And I also am a Virgo, in case anyone was wondering. It's literally my license plate. Like, I'm obsessed with Zodiacs. I'm always asking people for their birthdays, doing my friends' birth charts all the time. I just think it's fun. I did just go ahead and put shade Virgo all over my lid. And I used it with just my finger and dry. And I think it's really pretty. However, I do want to go ahead and I think I'm going to get my eyelid wet first. So to do this, I always take my setting spray, and I'm just using the L'Oreal one. And I like to just spritz the back of my hand. And then I take my finger and I dab it in the wetness from my hand. And then I just tap it on my eyelid. And then I'm just going to dip right back in with my finger and shade Virgo. And just go right on top of that. And that is a lot better. Really intensified the shadow. And there we are. Now, I do like this palette. However, I don't like the mirror. I feel like they should have made the mirror the same size as the palette itself. Or they should have not made it so big. I just feel like this palette's really big. And again, I just went in with this dry first, and then I'm going to go ahead and take my setting spray and do the same thing. I'm just going to go ahead and take my first fluffy brush and just blend out those edges and blend it into the matte shades. And then I'm going to go ahead and give myself a quick spritz. And while my eyes are still wet, I'm going to dip into shade Leo here and just pat that on these closer to my inner corner. I'm just going to pat that on there. Wow, these are so pretty. I'm loving this look so far. Underneath my eyes, I'm going to go ahead and dip right back into the ColourPop palette. And I'm going to be taking one of my smaller, denser brushes, cleaning off that excess shadow from beforehand. And I'm going to go ahead and start with shade The Libra, which was that mauve pink shade. And I'm just going to run that along my lower lash line. And this brush does still have a little bit of that pink pigment that we put on the upper lash line, or on my top lid. So it will drag a little bit underneath, but that's okay. That's kind of what I wanted. I don't want it to be too intense. And then I'm going to go ahead and dip into shade, The Sagittarius. And just taking that on the corner of my brush, and very lightly, I'm just going to focus this on the outer edge. And now for my inner corner highlight, I am going to dip right back into the BH Cosmetics palette, and I'm going to be taking the center highlight color right here, and just on a flat brush, I'm just going to pack that on there and pop this in my inner corner. It's a little hard to get on the brush. Let me see. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and pack this on my brush, and then I'm going to wet it with some setting spray. Alright, and now I'm just going to go ahead and pop that right back into my inner corner. See, that is much better. Dip into shade I'm going to dip into shade Leo with that same brush and putting this closer to the middle of my lower lash line. Alright, so that concludes the eyes. We're going to go ahead and move on into the face. And to finish off my face, I'm just going to go ahead and take my butter bronzer here. And I'm just going to bronze up my face. So for blush today, I'm going to be using the Flower brush, and this is in shade Peach Primrose. And I like to focus my blush more towards the back of my cheek and not towards the front. Alright, now this is where it gets fun because I'm going to go ahead and use the highlights from the Zodiac or Astrology collection from Wet n Wild. And alright, so I have all 4 of them right here. We have fire, air, water, and earth. And I have used earth before. It's a gorgeous gold highlight. But I have been dying to try out the water shade right here. Now I haven't really swatched or played with any of these shades yet. I've been waiting for this video. And so I'm not sure if this is going to ruin my look or help it, but I guess we're going to find out right now. So I'm just taking my brush, and it does kind of have like gold mixed in here, so I'm hoping it's not too blue because I've never used a blue highlighter before, but I've just been dying to try one. And let's go ahead and highlight our face. Okay. I don't think that was a good idea. But we're going to try to blend this in. Okay, see, it's getting softer. It's not too intensely blue. Okay, that's pretty. It's not actually that bad. I can't really tell, so I'm gonna have my flashlight guy come in.
Flashlight guy?
Flashlight guy. Okay, that's actually really pretty. It's very glittery, but it's not showing up like super blue like the Jeffree Star highlight does. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it on this side. Alright. Let's see. What do we think? What do you think? Do you like it?
Yeah.
It's very glittery. Alright, so I think that highlighter, you're good. I think it's pretty, but it's very glittery. So if you're into like a glittery highlight that doesn't really show up blue and kind of just blends out and leaves like a nice little cast on your face, you might like this. I actually like it. I think I'll use it again. I'll probably use it more for a festival than like an everyday look, but it's cute. She's cute. I am just going to go ahead and take Earth and go ahead and go right back over that just because I want more of a golden highlight for this look. There we go. That shade is so much prettier. I think if you have to get any of these, I'd get the Earth one. I think this one's better. I haven't tried the other two though, but I'm not really into like a pinky tone highlight. But if you like a nice gold, very glittery, shimmery highlight, you might like this. I'm just going to go ahead and highlight my Cupid's bow, my chin, and right above my brows. So I'm just going to go ahead and grab like an angled fluffier brush and highlight my brow bone with this as well. And boom. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and do my brows off camera and finish up the eyes, and I will be right back for lips because I have almost all of the lip shades from the Wet n Wild Astrology collection, so I'll be right back. So I have 9 of the lip glosses from Wet n Wild from their Astrology collection. I also have shade Libra, but it's one of my hands. I accidentally left it in the car, but what are you going to do about it? So, for my lips today, I think I'm going to dip into shade Virgo and also shade Taurus. So let me go ahead and set these aside. Fun. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and go in with shade Virgo first. And I have played around with these a little bit, and they're super glittery and fun. And I think they'd be great as top coats on top of liquid lipsticks. And then I'm going to go ahead and dip into shade Taurus. Yeah, this is Taurus. I was like, I know my signs. And I'm focusing just on the center of my lips. Alright, and to top it all off, I'm going to go ahead and spray my face with setting spray. And every time I go in with setting spray, I like to take my sponge and just pat my face. Just so I don't get little water droplets. That might ruin the look. Alright guys, so that concludes me trying out all of these Zodiac collections. My favorite one, I think, even though I hate the names to the shades, I think my favorite palette is definitely the BH Cosmetics Zodiac palette. I feel like I can get a lot more looks out of it just because there is so much more colors. However, I do really love Kathleen's palette, and I think it's great quality, and the shades in it are amazing, and I do feel like she picked really good shade colors for each sign. So if you were thinking about getting that one, if it's not still out of stock, I definitely think you should grab it. Also, the BH Cosmetics one I think is a great one to have, and there is more neutral tones and some fun tones in there as well, so you can get a lot of different looks out of it. The Wet n Wild collection, I did not try all of the little eyeshadows. I do have them. So I'm probably going to save those for a future video, and if you're interested in that, go ahead and let me know in the comments below. But as far as the highlights, I really do like them. They are a little bit too glittery for my liking, but they're nice still. And the blue one was not too blue, which was a good thing because it'll be cute for like different raves and stuff. And then the lip glosses are really pretty and pigmented. And I overall think that all these collections are really fun and cute, and I love Zodiacs and astrology, so I'm all here for the Zodiac makeup. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And if you want to follow me on my Twitter or Snapchat, my Snapchat is love_ginger and my Twitter is Marissa Raywold. And I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!